Yeah, I mean I think that's my biggest fight against burnout. Maybe is just me not forgetting who I am and also the principles and the morals that I stand on.
And reassessing.
Right, and just reassessing it every day. Yeah. Right, and just reassessing it every day and just constantly like even with imposter syndrome, like bro, I have not dealt with that in years.
Yeah.
Because it's like when I go in a room, it's like, yo, most of the time I look like this.
Mental Health Monday.
Nah. That was just reiteration. But
all right.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Mental Health Monday. Here with my boy Shaughn. What up, boy?
What's up? What's up?
Chilling, man. Tell the people who you are and what it is that you do.
My name is Shaughn, and I am a multi-dimensional human being.
Okay.
I don't even know how to put it. I mean, I'm a photographer, videographer. I like to pour into people, mentor, mentee as well. Yeah. I'm a son. I'm a fiance. I'm a cousin. I'm an uncle. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty much all that. I'm human. Like, I'm still trying to figure out how to condense all of this, because everybody always be like, who are you? What are you? What do you do? I'd be like, bruh, I don't even know.
Them some loaded questions.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't even know, bro. But look, we here. You know what I'm saying? I'm here just trying to make sure that the needle move. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at with it.
I got you. What does it mean to be a photographer?
It means to document. To me, at least. To me, what it means, right? Yeah. Because I'm no professor. I'm still at the beginning of my career as a photographer, right? I'm 12 years in. Yeah. What it means to me to be a photographer is to document and just to document what you love to document, you know? Like just to capture what's in front of you, right? Storytelling for me is photography. Like it's probably like my favorite type of photography, to be honest. Like storytelling and entertainment, right? Just being on somebody's hip for years, right? Yeah. To me, that's beautiful. To me, that's beautiful. If I had something I could just do for the rest of my life, it would be that. Just to like, not even just even in entertainment, right? Like even like political figures, right? Like just to capture anybody that has a story. Yeah. Like a story worth telling, right? Like not just somebody at board meetings or not just somebody in a studio. Like documenting somebody going through alcoholism, right, as an artist, right, as a videographer, not videographer, but as, you know, a rapper or somebody that is coming out of something, or right, somebody that's evolving as a person, right, not somebody that's just already a superstar, because it's just a certain level of grit that you witness, right, and that you learn from the process of documenting, like somebody from when they was once this small thing. Well, not even just a small thing. Is most of the time, the people I work with, they're never really small. But to document them until they're this big thing is beautiful. You know, it's super beautiful. It's grateful. Getting to know somebody's background, like getting to know somebody's family, getting to know how somebody moves or somebody works. Like just becoming a friend with this person and also a photographer for them that documents them. You know, it's beautiful, right? Yeah. That's just. You know what I'm saying? Like I've documented artists that have dealt with family issues, substance abuse, alcoholism, like depression, like, and I've also been friends with these people during these processes.
Build relationships with them.
Yeah, and it's just, man, a lot of these people are artists because they got something to say because they done been through something. Yeah. Most of the time, right? Like, what Andre say, the South got something to say. Yeah. Nigga, everybody got something to say.
They showed us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Which is why my man got a whole Flu album tuned at 432 hertz.
Yo, his experiments are better than people's projects that came out on the same week.
Literally, I mean, so my thing is the energy thing, right? Like people chastising him because he said he don't have it in him to put out a rap album.
I thought that was one of the most honest interviews ever.
Literally.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know if we saw the one when he was in the laundromat. Is that the one you're talking about?
So look, my thing is, I ain't even watch the interviews. I just be hearing about it. I see little clips on Twitter.
There was an interview when he was on the laundromat and he was like, you know, the reason I'm not in rap right now is because I felt like I was trying to prove something to people. And he was like, rap's not supposed to be, when I put something out, I shouldn't be trying to prove it to people.
That's what people used to, though.
Yeah.
You gotta think, there's no artist development. I don't think there's no artist development anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Which is why we see so many artists come and go in the music industry. We see so many come and they hot for a moment and then they just not.
Yeah.
It's just, okay, what is your life outside of, like, music? Like, what do you stand for?
Yeah.
You know, what are you working on? Right? Are you traveling? Are you immersing yourself in different cultures?
Are you truly standing on business?
What are you doing during the off season, right? What are you doing in between tours? What are you doing in between projects, right?
Yeah.
Like, which is so cool because it's just, with me being the person I am, I like to take on more of a role as a photographer and just also really check up on people's well-being when I do work with artists, right? When I work with musicians. Because a lot of them, bro, they be scarred, bro. I'm not going to hold you. A lot of them be scarred, bro. Like, just fucked up. Like, they be lashing out on me sometimes, but it's just, I mean, it is what it is sometimes. You just got to deal with it. Right? If you really want to live in that space and you really want to make an impact on people outside of the work you do for them and that you get paid for.
Yeah.
Right? If we talking about being a human, right?
Yeah.
It's just, when it's all said and done, I know my job when I was born on this earth is for me to remind people of how great they are, right? And a part of that is just me being a photographer, right? Photography is just a tool. It's just a medium. It's just a vehicle for me to be able to positively impact the people that are in my life. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
I feel like we done ended this conversation 3 times now also. But I can go on and on though, my bad.
What does the color yellow mean to you?
You know what's funny?
What's up?
The color yellow is just a color that always came to me. Right? Like, it's weird. It's really weird. Every time I've gotten anything yellow, it's because it was either given to me for free or it's because it was the last thing that was in stock. Real shit. No, real shit.
That's breathing life into something and taking the last of something.
I just let it be, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna hold you. I just let it be, bro. Like, yellow has always been a color that made me feel good. Yellow is not my favorite color though. My
Really?
favorite
What's
color
your favorite color?
is olive green.
Really?
Olive green is my favorite color.
Okay, that's ironic. I've been moving towards that color lately.
Olive green.
Yeah.
But my colors also changed. Like, my favorite color used to be red. Used to be blue at one point. Olive green. Like, I do have a color wheel though that I stay on. So
okay.
I know for a fact my favorite colors are yellow by force. Because I didn't see so much yellow in my life.
Yeah.
Bro, I didn't see so much yellow in my life. I had to learn how to like it.
Yeah.
On some real shit.
Yeah,
like,
so he's like, so you just gonna be here? Got you.
Basically.
Got you. Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. I think about funny things when it comes to the folks who I know now and I've gotten to know personally, especially people who are unfortunately famous. Right?
Yeah.
Because you don't choose fame. Fame chooses you.
Yeah,
right?
Unfortunately, yeah.
The yellow case for the camera.
Yeah.
You didn't buy that in order to stand out. You just bought it for your equipment.
I mean, I did buy it to stand out in the beginning. Because I knew I was coming into a market and I didn't know anybody. Right? I didn't know anybody, and I knew the best way for me to get to know people is to find a way to be remembered. And I mean, work was already amazing, but I just needed...
In terms of you got opportunities or the work you were putting out?
I mean, in terms of the work I was putting out, right? The work was amazing, but I didn't know anybody, and it doesn't make sense for your work to be amazing and you just don't know how to talk to people or you don't know how to connect with people. So, I mean, I just went ahead and I was like, yo, I need to find a way to stand out. So I just got the biggest camera I could get for Nikon, and I just threw a bright ass yellow case on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and it just, I mean, it stuck with people, you know, because I mean, I would be making sure that I got people their photos like the next day.
Quick on the turnaround.
Yeah, and just...
Did you teach yourself that, or?
Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, it's just, I mean, reading, you know what I'm saying? Like, reading, like, I read a lot when I was in high school. Like, pretty much, I kind of skated my way through my senior year, and it's just it wasn't as much work for me. I don't know if the work got easier. I don't know if it just wasn't much work for me, but you know, my senior year, everybody was focused on going to college, and I mean, me personally, college was cool. I wanted to make sure I at least got admitted into one college, and the first college I got admitted into, I didn't necessarily try to apply for anything else because I mean I didn't even really want to go to college.
Okay.
To be honest, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we being honest. But luckily, I did go, and I met a lot of amazing people when I went to Eastern Shore. And
you went to Eastern Shore?
Yeah, I went there for 2 semesters. Okay. Yeah, I went there for 2 semesters.
That was with Matt and the rest of them.
So Matt went to Salisbury. Yeah, Matt went to Salisbury, but I think that was during the time right after he might have left because Matt got a little bit of age on me. So that was like, but Matt actually, funny thing is, I met Matt by him driving me to, like, him and Ashley Sharp. They drove me to orientation for Eastern Shore. I didn't know Matt from a can of paint. But like Ashley knew Matt, and I think she was helping, like she was getting help from Matt to drive me there. And you know, on the way to Eastern Shore, Matt was just telling me about the factory and just, I mean, we've been good since, you know, we've been good since basically. And I mean, he's a solid dude. We just been good since 2016 when he randomly helped Ashley Sharp drive me to orientation for Eastern Shore. It's weird, you know, it's weird now that I say it. It's like, bro, I ain't know this guy from can of paint.
You looking at it right now, you're just like, dang.
Like, I'm just in the car with a stranger. I was just in the car.
That was it. I was in the car and we was rapping. That's all it takes sometimes.
Yeah, no, definitely, you know, definitely. I think we met at the beginning of a new stage for me, right? Like, this was my first time walking into adulthood, and this is my first time, like, getting my limiter, like, taken off of me, right? Like, I realized, you know, once I kind of was on my own, I realized how much power I had. Yeah. You know, as an adult, like, I have free will. Like, I can literally do whatever I want. I can sleep in.
Just go in there.
I can just not go to class. I can just do whatever I want. I can set up photo shoots. I'm not distracted.
This one of the first moments you can mold yourself.
Basically, right? It's like, I don't know, it's like being in a glass of water that your parents poured into, right, in a certain glass, and then like them just tossing it out, and now you're just all over the floor, and it's like, all right, now it's your responsibility to pour yourself back into any type of glass you want, right? Like, just that free will. I don't know if that made sense, but I mean, it's just, it was the free will of me being able to be whoever I want, however I want, whenever I want. And just even like down to me dealing with people, right? Like, I had the free will to deal with people, right? Like, because we know parents got that thing where they'll get on the phone and they'll be like, you know, I'm on the phone with so-and-so. And then they'll be like, you know, Shaughn said hi. And I'm just like, yo, I don't even want to talk to this person.
I don't remember saying hi. I just looked at you. I just made eye contact.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Parents got that thing, but it's like as an adult, like, when I first got out of school, I realized I did not have to pick up every call, right? I did not have to respond to every message on Facebook. I did not have to, like, especially with people that weren't really pouring into me, right? Like, my whole adulthood has been centered around just surrounding myself around people that pour into me and figuring out what's the best way to handle people that don't necessarily pour into me. But it's just like me walking into, like, I guess, like a deeper phase of adulthood is just like, now, okay, I can't just cut people off, right? Like, now I got to figure out how I can pour into myself for the people that don't pour into me, but they need me, right? Yeah. Like, as a leader, it's unfortunate, but I mean, I wasn't really taught, I guess, the best way to be a leader growing up. Like, I was always just kind of on my own. So right now I'm at a point where a lot of people rely on me, but currently, like, a lot of people like rely on me, but like, it's just they don't really put as much into me. So now I need to figure out how I can pour more into myself again, right? Like, how can I pour into myself for me to pour into these people that don't pour into me, or pour into me only a little bit, you know? Like, in comparison to how much I put into them. So
I have a rule.
What's the rule?
If you're going to be around me, you have to have something going on that's not what I have going on, right? Yeah. And the reason for that is, when you come into entrepreneurship or crafting something, especially from scratch, what you find is people don't know what it means to lose something. They know the value of your work and they admire that, but they don't know the value of their own work and measuring their own work compared to the opportunities that you're giving them.
Yeah.
So usually when I hire people, especially early on when it came to Get Home Safe and the work that we did, I asked every individual I worked with, what do you want to do that has nothing to do with what we're doing over here?
Right.
Because what that means is I get to keep in mind when there's an opportunity for you. I get to keep in mind when you do get that opportunity, I get to see who you really are now that you have that opportunity versus what you've told me.
Yeah.
Because your actions are always going to define who you are. Words are good on paper until you're in front of the person.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird, man. It's weird, but you're going to learn. I mean, you already know this, of course, right?
Yeah.
But you're going to meet people that just want to pour into you, right?
Yeah.
Like, I've came across a few people like that. And, I mean, they're still around as well, but you got some people, like, their purpose in life is to pour into people, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's me for a lot of people, right? Like, some people probably think I don't have anything else going on in my life because I don't necessarily share, right? I don't, like this year I stopped sharing what I have going on in my personal life because I realized what comes with that, right? Like the internet is just, I don't know, it's a big place, right? Like it's a big place for you to like just share everything that you're going through, right? Like people didn't know I was in a relationship until I was engaged.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and mind you, we've been in a relationship like months, like several months before that, right? And my thing is just I learned like I got on the cusp of just telling people everything, right? Mm-hmm. And it just got annoying when, you know, you get into arguments with people and they use your vulnerabilities against you. And then, yeah, you know, it's weird.
That's a measure of people.
Yeah, it's weird, you know? It's weird. It's like I share this to hopefully inspire people and, you know, people think I share it just for them to tear me down whenever they can use it against me.
Crazy.
And, you know, it's weird. Like this year, honestly, this year has been probably like one of the toughest years I've ever like had, so to speak, right? Like, and I've been through a lot of crazy shit in my life, right? But this year has been the pinnacle of just grit and just like heartache. Like it's just like I don't even look at some people the same.
Yeah.
It's been real crazy. Like I've had people threaten me. Like I've had people like, it's
to
weird.
Go from friends to threaten me.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's crazy.
It's weird, man.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it's out there. You know what I'm saying? It's weird, but it's out there.
That.
Yeah. It's weird and it's out there, right? And it's weird when you get in these rooms with these people and they try to act like nothing happened. But it's just I'm gonna just let it rock because I look like a clown trying to clown somebody, right?
Yeah.
Like I'll look,
especially if the room doesn't understand what happened between both y'all.
Yeah, not for real. So it's just I be real conscious about what I share with people now. Like I used to just tell everybody everything. But that had to come to a stop because it's just I don't know, man. It just got real overwhelming at a point.
Yeah.
And it's just I don't know, even down to the people that admire the traumas that you go through, it's like it's weird, they almost like idolize you after a while, right?
There are people who fall in love with your trauma. They remove you from your trauma and they obsess on what you've gone through and they don't ever see past that and the growth that you've made since then.
Yeah, I mean, and that's family most of the time too, right? Like I had to spend some time away from my family while I was like in adulthood, so I didn't get reminded of who I used to be while turning into who I'm becoming. Right, that was a big catalyst into adulthood for me, into like my growth is just spending time away from people that knew me, right, and spending time with people that want to get to know me. Yeah. Right, and I mean it's a beautiful process, but it's also a painful process, right? Letting go of anything is just painful, and you know, especially when you let go of something and then you go back to try to find it again, right? Like
figuring out ways to be less guilty.
Not even that, right? Like what I mean, right, is just now that I'm getting to a point where I want to start my own family, right? I want to start my own family like in the next 5 to 10 years, right? Now I got to rebuild my relationship with my family, you know, and with people I consider as my family, right? Like I have my chosen family and then I have my blood family, right? Yeah. And like my chosen family, I mean, it's not that many people, but it's people I know I can call if I'm going through something, right? Or it's people I know I can call if I want to have a good time, right? But like my family, like my blood family, I don't really have much in common because like it's just I just kind of always been different my whole life. You know, it's unfortunate, but it's just I was like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like an outcast even in my own like family, even in some friend groups that I used to be a part of, right? Yeah. Which is why I had to leave, which is why I kind of be by myself when most of the time people see me, if they don't see me with Jada or if they don't see me with Raheem, like I just be by myself because most of the time I can't relate. Yeah. Like I can't relate to what anybody else has going on. And I mean, I try, but I just...
Yeah. You're not going to fake the funk.
Basically, you know what I'm saying? I mean... Something else I had to work on this year too is just figuring out how to make friendships outside of people just doing business with me.
That's super important. Super important. And the reason for that, because I was making the same mistake when I started, but for me, folks usually fuck with me in the beginning, and then I realized on the business end, you shouldn't just be doing business with people because they're your friends, even if they have the right skill set, because some people don't do a good job of emotionally disconnecting from things. They bring that emotion, and that emotion is their driver, and then they don't turn it off once they get to a certain point.
Yeah, and the weird part about dealing with people that you really care about, it's like you almost become numb. Like I almost became numb in the process. Yeah. Because I will always think so objectively, right? Like I will always think so objectively with subjective relationships, like business wise, right? Like I can't treat a business partner the same way I would treat my cousin, right? But what happens when your cousin is your business partner? It's like that's the things you got to think about, right? Like I've had family members like they ask me if I can do business with them, and I just be like, yo, I can't because I'm gonna feel uncomfortable smacking the shit out you. Yeah, like,
and you deserve to get smacked.
That's what I'm saying though. Like you got some people that are habitual line steppers that. You don't find out until they habitually line step on
and it's in the middle of business.
Yeah. And then now you having a nigga moment.
You gotta stand on business.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't smack people. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get that.
I'm a pacifist, but the thought does run through my mind.
The
right?
Capacity. Yeah.
Right. Like I'm just trying to carry myself differently. Right. Like the thought does it does go through my mind often, but I keep it to myself.
Would you say the privacy that you've practiced with the clientele that you've handled, you've taken notes from how you treated your clients and decided, now I got to start treating myself like that in certain parts of my life when it comes to privacy and like keeping it what it is?
Yeah, of course, right? Like I learned even like that's how I learned how to deal, like how to handle myself, right? It was just how I operate with people, right? Like I studied sociology for a little bit, right? Yeah. And I learned kind of how people work. It's unfortunate though. It's just I will pour into people and not necessarily pour into myself, right? So it's like from learning how to love like my significant other to like learning how to love my nieces, my nephews, like my family, my friends. Like I learned how to love myself through that same process, right? Yeah. And just learn how to pour myself and also learn how to set my own boundaries with family, because it's like, okay, I don't have the capacity. Like, what you want me to do? Like, like I'm running on low fuel right now. Like, like my emotional health and my emotional health is not all the way together. Yeah, I can't properly show up for you, so I'm gonna need some time to myself.
And you guys you've practiced for most of my life not pouring into me when I'm on low too.
Yeah, but I mean that's even new people in my life, right? Yeah. Like, I mean, everybody tries their best, but it's just sometimes, like, it's a hard truth, but sometimes people's best ain't good enough. Like, I know sometimes when I show up and I try my best and I miss my mark, I just know I can't take it personal. It's like, because my best wasn't good enough. It's time to go back to the drawing board. Either I can spend time to figure this out or just not, you know what I'm saying, and just not have that connection no more, you know? Yeah. It's unfortunate, but it's a hard truth that I had to go through over the last 2 or 3 years.
Honestly, it is unfortunate because, especially when it comes to not just business, but emotional relationships and relationships we care about, when we start new relationships with people, we have this hope as to who they say they are or they're going to be. But then when you're faced with that reality, it's your responsibility to adjust your expectations of people. And like just take it for what it is, even if it's disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, so I've learned, right? I've learned that everybody's not me.
Yeah.
I've learned that everybody's not me. Like Me personally, I have a certain sense of urgency.
Yeah.
That I'm noticing that most people don't have, right?
In what sense? Could you give me an example?
Of just everything, right? Like, people say they need me.
Yeah.
It's a certain sense of urgency that I have, right? And, like, for example, like, a friend is on the side of the road and I'm available, and they say they need help and I can help them.
Yeah.
I'm shooting over to them whether I just brush my teeth or not. Like,
Yeah.
it's like I'm pulling up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I realize that I'm a pretty reliable guy, and if I can't deliver on something, if I don't tell somebody I can't deliver and I said I would,
Yeah.
I'm probably going through something really crazy, and I'm physically not capable to send you over a text or a call to say, hey, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's just like I said, I'm realizing that, like, the older I get, the more I'm realizing that I have, like, a certain sense of urgency that most people don't necessarily have. And it's just, I don't know how I do it, but I found a way to show up for most of the people in my life whenever they need me to, right?
Yeah.
So I'm learning that the only way for me to be necessarily happy is to lower my expectations of everyone and be okay with me being able to maintain my energy, right? And how I show up for people, right? And figuring out ways and systems for me to still show up for people, even though they may not reciprocate that same energy, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's what got me here, right? It's what sustained me up to this point. And if I want to go to the next level, I have to figure out how to amass more energy, right? And, like, whether that be dark energy, positive energy, light energy, like, it all got to come together at some point and make positive energy. Like, that's what I've been at my whole life, like, my whole childhood, like, my whole teenagehood, adulthood. Like, I've been through some crazy shit, bro.
Yeah.
And instead of me being a villain, I've tried to figure out ways I can be, I don't know, an anti-hero or a hero in a sense.
Yeah.
Where I can take what I went through and not throw it on people, but help people, right?
Yeah.
That's always been the goal from the start, is just to amass that energy, that, like, that surplus of just dark energy or gray energy, and just turn it into positive energy later in my life, so I can positively influence the people around me and inspire the people around me. That's always been my goal from the jump. Like, I'm not really, like, I never was really passionate about photography. I've more so been passionate about people my whole career. Right? And just making sure people, making sure people are good, right? Like, I got invoices that, I mean, I haven't filled out probably for months, right? But my thing is, like, it'd be more so people reaching out to me last minute, like, hey, somebody dropped out on me, or hey, I really need you to do this for me, and I don't necessarily have the capacity to do it, but I still show up and I still make it happen. I just send an invoice weeks or months later, right?
Do you get to fight burnout in that kind of situation? Because it sounds like it's beyond a burden. I think a burden doesn't do that description justice. And correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean,
right?
Yeah, I mean, with burnout, like,
because it sounds like a perpetual thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's a perpetual burning, right? Like, man, like, like, man, if only I could tell you in words, right, how much energy it takes for you to really be successful, for you to really make, like, the capital, right, to fund ideas as a photographer with no agent, with no manager, with no help, for real.
Being your own speaking piece,
but, like, people,
your own advocate,
people still speak well on my behalf, and they still put me in rooms. So my thing is, man, like, burnout, like, man, I was in a really dark space. I ain't gonna hold you, in like 2019, 2020. Where I was in a situation that I needed to get out of, right? I was in a household that I had to get out of, right? Like, I absolutely had to, right? And ever since then, bro, like, I've been burning out, but the shit don't register. Like, it don't register how I used to, right? Like, it's either I say I'm burnt out and don't deliver and end up with less money, or I fight through it, and at someday, hopefully, I live through it and it makes sense, right? Like, it's just, I don't know, man. I try to start getting up earlier, right? I get up early. I got like a little morning routine where, you know, I'll meditate for a little bit. I'll stretch out my lower back with a sciatica or sciatica. I'm not a chiropractor.
Sciatica nerve in the back.
No, I don't have it, but it's to prevent it.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying? Just preventative measures, right?
My dad has double slip disc, so I pay attention to stuff like that.
Yeah, so I got a little tool where it stretches out your sciatica nerves in your lower back. I try to do that for like 5 or 10 minutes, and I mean, I get up, I introduce myself to myself. You know what I'm saying? I remind myself who I am, what I've done, what I've accomplished.
Can you walk me through that?
Like through just me
introducing yourself to yourself.
Oh, I mean, my name's Shaughn. You know, of course, photography, videography, producer. Pretty much, I wear a lot of hats. I make a lot of things happen for people. I mentor as well. I mean, I'm still trying to figure it out. Exactly what I do. I just know I do a lot, right? I do whatever I gotta do to keep the house bills on, like the house lights. Keep the bills paid. You know what I'm saying? I do everything I can to make sure that everybody around me is taken care of. I try my best at least. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what I do at most yet. I don't know what's more than trying your best, but at least I try my best, you know? I mean, I'm into cars, like passionate about people. I like anime, I like manga.
Low-key an outdoorsman.
Low-key, I need to get back to that. Like, I love martial arts. But I do need to get back to being outdoors, you know what I'm saying? That's definitely a part of my identity. Man, I mean, I'm an uncle, a son, a fiance.
All those hats are active.
A friend, they're all active, running at the same time, 100 miles per hour. And I found out, I found out why people do drugs this year. I found out why people drink. I found out why people have issues. Trying my best to manage. And I mean, I'm just day by day right now. It's been a really fucking rough season, really fucking rough year, but I've made the most money I've ever made in my life this year.
I've heard that from a lot of different people. Recently, one of my boys who we did the event, same one you covered, I had no idea he was the one that created Trap Yoga. So when he told me that didn't reframe our relationship because I already care about him. But I told him at the end, I was like, I wish I was there for you because I know that was lonely. There's a certain corridor of isolation that when you do become successful or those opportunities come to you and the money comes in, that you just want people that are there to just listen to what you have going on. And you want people to be able to figure it out with you.
It's funny, right? I was the opposite for a long time, right? And
how so?
It's just, I'd rather people not be around me when I work because I get a lot more work done by myself. Because like I said, I have a certain sense of urgency where I'd rather figure something out. And because it's just I treat everything like just to backtrack a little bit, right? Like I treat everything how I would treat photography, right? Like it's a certain level of detail that needs to go into everything, like just for quality control. And I find it hard in this area to deal with people that are easy to, I guess, to deal with in that sense with quality control. And it's just, I feel like I'm also all over the place right now. But like even in this conversation,
actually no.
Okay,
you're not. Actually.
Okay, I'm like, I hope I'm hitting point.
No, you're not. Actually, I have really good questions coming up. Keep going.
Okay, bet. So I mean, where I'm at with it, like I'm trying my best to figure out how to deal and manage with people who are on projects with me that don't necessarily come with the same cadence or the same energy. Right? Because I'm realizing that I'm probably a dime a dozen. And it's just, I mean, I don't think I'm a narcissist. I'm just speaking from experience.
Acknowledge your value.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, but it's a fine line, right? It's a fine line of acknowledging your value and just being a egocentric narcissist.
Well, the reason I say acknowledge your value is so imposter syndrome. Right? A lot of folks suffer and deal with imposter syndrome. And I'm no exception to that. But I set up moments for myself to prove to myself who I've been. Not who I think I'm trying to be. Who have you been? That's why I'm really big on your actions define who you are. So like deliverables. If I was a photographer, for example, because you're a photographer, right? In terms of one of the hats that you wear. And you had 15 clients you had to take care of. Just because you've delivered 13 out of the 15 on time and 2 are late that doesn't mean you're not a good photographer. Because most people are like, well, I had 15, you had to do 15. It's like, yeah, but while you're delivering the 15, life comes at you fast. You may have a kid whose ass you got to wipe. Your mom may have hit you up about a family emergency that you didn't know was coming up. And with all those things that are going in, you still tried your best to get out 13. And because the other 2 were late, your clients understand, yo, he's done 10 different sets of work for us and he's always been on time. So this is a one-off. And that's usually what it means to prove yourself to yourself looking back at it. But usually when folks drop the ball, they only see the ball bouncing and they never look at all the other things they did to get to that ball.
I feel you, right?
Yeah.
And I have a comment about that philosophy, right?
Sure.
So it's unfortunate, right? You miss, say if you do miss 2 projects out of that 15, right? So it doesn't necessarily make you a bad photographer. Might make you a bad businessman depending on who you ask. But I mean, I'm all about just filling people in as things are happening, right?
Yeah.
Like I'd rather just shoot you a call a month before and be like, hey, I'm gonna be late.
Yeah.
Like
communication's key.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you don't communicate what you going on in your life, and you're supposed to be a businessman, and you're not communicating this with your clients, because I mean, the thing is, when people quit their jobs, right, and they become an entrepreneur, they think they don't have a boss anymore. It's like in actuality, you got about 15 bosses.
Each new client.
Yeah, each new client is a boss.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you just now have the leisure of whether you want to do the project or not, right? But at the same time, it's hard to live in a space, right, where you have to perform perfectly all the time. But in order for you to be successful in these spaces, right, if you really want to get your full potential out, like you have to, like in my mind, like I don't know. Yeah, you gotta do it. Like you gotta show up, which is why I don't. It's unfortunate, but like I've been burnt out so many times that I don't believe in burnout.
You're used to it. You're conditioned to it. I've never fought someone's experience. You get what I'm saying? Like your experience, whether I say, oh, burnout shouldn't be this because blah, blah, blah. It's like, nah, fam, but I was in the middle of it. I remember when it started. I remember what it felt like. Now that I'm used to it, it's like, A, that's not good, but who am I to tell you when you've had to be the creator of your life and you're your own coverage? Yeah,
I mean, you gotta think, bro. I've totaled cars in the same days going to shoots right after.
Yeah.
Like, flipped cars, transmissions that went out on me. Like, I done got kicked out of homes and still had to show up to shoots later that day. Like, man, I gotta get this yaper, bro. I gotta get this motherfucking money. I gotta get this chicken. Yeah. Like, I gotta make these connections, bro. Like, I mean,
and also hopefully you have proof that showing up to that stuff, you got paid, which took care of whatever was going on.
Yeah, no, literally, man. I mean, that's where I'm at with it. I mean, the burnout thing, like, I believe is real, but if you power through it, like, I feel like it's worth it. It's worthwhile, right? But I mean, I can't speak to anybody's experience, right? Like, nobody has the exact same brain as me, and I don't have the exact same brain as anybody else, right?
And also, I've seen burnout where people didn't make it to the other side because of perpetual burnout.
Yeah.
You feel me? So when it comes to the folks, I've never been one to grab onto someone and say, please don't do it. I'm usually like, where are you on the burnout? Because burnout does have its own spectrum of things. Like, there's burnout to the point that you don't know up from down anymore. And you may be losing who you are in the burnout. And then it's like, that's no longer productive. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Versus, all right, you're burning out, but you're still having moments of rest. You're still having moments of, all right, I could schedule something here and get back to me. I think one of the most important things you said in this conversation is you introducing yourself to yourself in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's my biggest fight against burnout, maybe, is just me not forgetting who I am and also the principles and the morals that I stand on.
And reassessing.
Right? And just reassessing it every day. Yeah. Right? And just reassessing it every day and just constantly, like even with imposter syndrome, like, bro, I have not dealt with that in years. Yeah. Because it's like when I go in a room, it's like, yo, most of the time I look like this. Like I look like what I look like.
You show up as you are.
Yeah, I mean, y'all not bringing me here for me to look Like, y'all bring me here to work. Like, y'all want a motherfucker that's gonna work. I'ma work.
And you're not out of practice.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, don't even play with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here to work, bro. Like, I'm not here, like, you know what I'm saying? Of course, I would like to, like, keep my appearance up, but if I'm going through some shit and I'm trying to get some shit done, like, I'm gonna just show up how I am. And y'all just gonna have to either let me in or, like, if we at Park, like, I remember one time I showed up at Park before I knew that Park had a strict dress code. I showed up at Park after a shoot that I had to do at the Anthem for, like, a concert. I think I was shooting for Ski Mask or something like that through Matt. This was right before Juice WRLD passed too. Juice WRLD was on that build, I think, as well. Yeah, rest in peace, Juice WRLD. But yeah, man, I showed up at Park like probably like right after, cause like my schedule should just be lined up, right, like back to back. Like I just be wanting to knock shit out. I don't be wanting, like, I just eat when it's all done. Like I'd rather be hungry and work than just be taking breaks but yeah, to say the least though, right? I got there and they was just like, yo, you think you about to get in here looking like this?
That's how they said it too.
Yeah, it's like, you think you about to look like this again? I'm like, yeah, y'all got me fucked up. Somebody paying me to be here. Call whoever y'all need to call. I need to be up in this motherfucker. Cause I'm working. I don't care what these people look like. I don't live in y'all world. Motherfucker, somebody's paying me to be here.
And they made the call.
They made that call. I got in there. Same thing with clubs, man. When I first started out, bro, I was probably like 18, 19, shooting at clubs. And people at the front would give me a hard time, and the host would come out, and after a while, they just start putting X's on my hands. They was like, yo, I mean, the dude, he don't drink, he don't smoke, he don't blow hookah, he don't do nothing. Like, he just want to take pictures. Like, just let him in. Like, that always been my thing, like, just making sure I just get into spaces and I do what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? And, you know what I'm saying, the antics, they play a role, right?
They do.
The antics play a role, right?
They play a role to filter.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what that's supposed to be about.
Sometimes you do gotta talk to people, which is like my biggest pain point with being an entrepreneur is just learning how to talk to people, right? Because I didn't like talking to people, I just liked working. But it's just when you realize that it's different between a chief and a soldier, right? Like a chief is somebody that has to be well versed in politics, but also well versed in combat too. So it's like if you want to just be a soldier your whole life, you might not get as much out of life as a chief, depending on who you're talking to. I know me, I want everything I can get out of this motherfucking lifetime. So I'm gonna have to be a chief. I gotta learn how to talk to people. I gotta learn how to shake hands. I gotta learn how to kiss babies. I gotta learn how to just be around people, right? And learn how to relate to people, right? So my last 5 or 6 years has just been me like reconditioning myself and just learning how to be around people, right? And just learning how to just be comfortable around people, right? Like I would be uncomfortable when people would touch me on the shoulder, or when people would rub, you know how some people, they come up behind you and they rub your back.
It's like, fam, that's too much.
And my thing is, like, I had to understand, right, because I have also a sexual assault wound from when I was younger through a woman. You know what I'm saying? Through a woman sexually assaulted me, which was a cousin, which is unfortunate, and she was older than me, right? And it's unfortunate, but as I grew older, like, I don't feel comfortable with people touching my shoulder. Like, and it's just something, like, I realized I was traumatized about, and it's just something I was like, okay, I need to get help for this, right? Because that's just how some people talk, right? But, like, also, if people being weird, I'd be like, yo, you being weird, back the fuck up, right? But some people, generally, they don't mean any harm, right?
That's just who they've been.
And it's just like you having to pull somebody to the side and being like, yo, like, explaining to them you were sexually assaulted, and sometimes you can't do that in certain. You can't do that in certain.
Always carve out that space.
You can't always do that in certain environments, right? Because most of the time, most of the time people be drunk, bro. People be drunk and shit at these events, bro. Like, I remember a few years ago, like, I showed somebody a picture and, like, they, like, reached in and, like, grabbed my nipple. It was a woman, I'm like, my thing is, we still cool to this day, because I realized she was drunk, and I was like, you know what, unfortunately, I'm gonna just let it slide. If you do it again, though, I'm gonna correct you. But, I mean, in the moment, I was so confused that I ain't even say shit. I was just like,
taking it back.
And she just looked at me, and I was like, I'm not, like, I don't know, like, I'm not comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you shouldn't have to be.
Yeah, and it's just weird though that she thought she could even do that even if she was drunk, right? But what I'm getting at is just I didn't have the space for me to be able to say, like, just explain everything to her, right? I did let her know it was weird. You know what I'm saying? But I couldn't go into depth why it was weird, right?
Yeah.
But even to this day though, like, we still cool. We still say hi to each other whenever we see each other. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. But like, I mean, yeah, a lot of people here in this community hurt me over a few things, like off of a few actions. But I mean, sometimes like I'll speak on it and I'll just let it be. Like sometimes you just gotta write that shit down on a piece of paper and burn it. Like real shit. Like getting your point across sometimes ain't even the best thing for you to do in that moment. Like you gotta choose your battles.
Yeah.
Like do you wanna go through this? Like, nah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's where I've been at. Like I've been trying to choose peace. Like, I mean, I did choose madness for a bit, right? I did choose chaos for a bit.
And that has its benefits when you choose.
Yeah, I mean, it feels amazing, right? It feels amazing to like burn a house down. Especially while you're inside of it. Yeah. Right. It feels amazing, right? Until you don't have any clients, until you don't have any friends, until you don't have any family, until you just isolated and you just working and you just working on cars and
that takes away from the moments.
Yeah, I mean it's a dark place. It's a dark place, right? It's a dark place, and then especially when you get used to just living like that, right? Like it's just like telling people about themselves, right? Like sometimes it ain't in your place. Yeah. Like I just be, which is not why now. I be chilling. Like as long as you don't overtly disrespect me or my family or my friends, I just be chilling. Like I mean, you could say whatever you want to me, but I'm gonna just let that shit rock more than likely because you're not gonna put your hands on me. Yeah. Like it's just like, okay, cool. I understand where you're coming from. That's how I usually be ending conversations like that. Right, like I had a situation early this year, like with somebody I consider as like a longtime supporter, like threatened me damn near, and she also like talked down on me. This is somebody I considered as like a friend, right? As a friend, as somebody I would vouch for in conversation. When people would say she's crazy or that I'd be like, nah, they good. Like she good people. I don't know what y'all talking about. Yeah. But my thing is like, I don't know. That shit just went out the window. Like. Me personally, I don't tolerate disrespect, so I don't necessarily engage with them like I used to, but if they come to me and they want to get some work done, we can get some work done. You got to pay me up front. But at the same time, like, you're not going to disrespect me or my family or my household.
And that's what it means to enforce a boundary.
Basically, it's like, see you in person, you think you can just talk to me. Like, I mean, that's cool. I ain't going to give you much energy, though. Yeah. I ain't going to disrespect you, though, but I ain't going to give you much energy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. I'm going to probably dap you up. I probably won't even shake your hand. Yeah. Because that should be transferring energy. I ain't just got time for that. Just
good to see you. Just
keep it moving. You feel me? That's how I am. That's how I am with a lot of people, right? It's just I ain't really gonna dap you up with an open palm. Cause like I don't even want your energy on me. Yeah. Like that's how I be. Cause it's like I'm at such a loss, bro. Like I'm at such a loss of just energy of just being around people that was either leeches or the people that was just disrespecting me. Yeah. Under the table though, right? Like under the table, because I be moving so quick. Yeah. I be moving so quick that months have passed by, and I'll just be like, "Damn,
you miss it.
Damn, you was disrespecting me the whole time. Yeah, I should have been nipped this in the bud. Yeah, but now I'm getting a lot better in that, and I'm keeping it, under wraps. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure that I'm around people that ain't disrespecting me, or my time, or my family, or my people, or my household. That's what I'm trying to move in the space of. With me being 30 in 4 years. Yeah, like. Just trying to make sure that I enter my 30s as like a more solid person, right? Because I mean, a part of being a real nigga is keeping it real with yourself. Yeah. First and foremost, right? Like I can't be out here checking people if I ain't checking myself.
Of course.
Right? So it's just, if I ain't living right, I gotta sit myself down and just be like, all right, like this person disrespected me, how am I about to move forward with this? Right? That's what that comes to. Also, I feel like I'm rapping.
No. You are spitting though. Because like, mental health and wellness doesn't matter to me unless you care about the people in their story and what's going on. Yeah. You feel me? Like, none of the work I do has any relevance unless people are able to be honest about what they've gone through. Yeah. So, like, to me, how you hear, man, I've really been rapping. For me, I'm like, no, that's what life is actually about. And the rest of this stuff is just supposed to help us get there to the better place if we want that for ourselves. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think something you said that was like really profound to me is, I don't really like photography. I'm I do people.
Yeah.
And I wanted you to explain that as we wrap this up.
So like what I mean by I don't do photography, like I'm not passionate about photography, I'm passionate about people.
Yeah.
It's just making sure that people are happy, right? Like making sure that people know how great they are, right? Like I said, a part of my morning ritual is to get up, right? First, you know what I'm saying? First I get up, take a shower, I stretch, I meditate, I write into my gratitude journal, or I at least think about things I'm grateful about, right? I ain't get there yet where I'm writing it down every day. But I mean, I stretch, I do my sciatica joint, you know what I'm saying? I stretch out my sciatica, my back nerves, my lower back. And then, I mean, like I said, I try to at least text one person a day, just let them know they're doing good, I'm proud of them, I love them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Keep that shit going, you know what I'm saying? Because I know when I was in spaces where I needed to get my own momentum, it was me that had to get my own momentum, right? Nobody was telling me I was doing good for real, right? I wasn't really giving the people a chance to either way, because like I take the picture and just be one and done. But you know, I started actually stopping though after I show people the pictures, and when people see me, I actually start listening. You know what I'm saying? As of lately, people have been coming up to me and telling me that I've been doing really good, or that I don't know, they say I'm a legend. I'm like, I'm only 26, bro. I can't really be a legend yet, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't take the compliments personal, because when you do take the compliments personal, you also take the criticism personal. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I appreciate it, but I try not to take it personal or internalize it. Most of the time, I try to forget it, because like when you remember stuff like that, you remember the negative duality of it as well. Yeah. Right? You remember the people that, like, I mean, this is how my brain works at least, and I'm trying to train myself to remember more positive things.
Working on it, yeah.
I'm working on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the process of doing that. But yeah, I mean, I hope I was able to expound on what you just asked me. Expand on it.
I think that's been one of the most gangster interviews I had, which for me that's exciting. No, dead ass. It's nice when I get to sit down with someone I've been proud of, and they could speak on, hey, here's why I'm making changes in my life, and here's how I dealt with things. And I didn't know about that, and I was just like, in my head, I was like, I'm glad you made it to the other side, and there was benefits for the decisions you made for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, man, it's always been benefits, man. Yeah. It's always been benefits. My thing is, bro, 80% of the time, right? Because I do slip up. 80% of the time, I'm thinking abundantly. Yeah. 80% of the time, right? Like I studied Buddhism when I was like in the 6th and 7th grade. Like I studied sociology, sacred geometry. Like I studied a lot of that stuff in grade school. Yeah. Right? Like, so it's just the way how my mind is wired. Like no matter how deep I get into adulthood and I got to deal with the woes of capitalism and, you know, being in, you know, an engagement, and because I mean, it's shit that come with that too. Yeah. It all ain't perfect. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's shit everybody got to deal with. You want to be engaged, it's going to take a lot of work, especially if you're a man. Most men ain't mature when they, you know what I'm saying? Most men ain't mature, bro. Yeah. Like, on a real, like, most of us got work we need to do. And it's just, I be trying to think abundantly, though, right? Like, that's what keeps me in my relationship, right? That's what keeps me in my engagement. That's what keeps my family around me. Yeah. It's just, I remember not the actions, not the memories, but I remember how I feel, right? I remember how I feel. Like, I try to focus on the memories. Like, I try to focus on how I feel with the memories that I remember, right? I try to focus on the positive memories that I have and how I felt in those moments, and that's what keeps me going when I am in, like, holes, right? Like, right now, I'm in a really dark place. Yeah. Like, I'm in a really fucking dark place, but I'd be damned if I give up. I ain't giving up until my heart give out. Yeah. And that's just where I'm at with it, right? Because I deserve that shit. Because I work really hard for everything that I have, for everybody I have around me. I work really fucking hard, man. And like I said, I'm going through a really hard time right now, and it just is what it is. It happens. Yeah. Right? But I'm trying my best every day, and that's all that matters. And I give myself that credit. And I bask in the moments that I do have where I'm not suffering. Like, I mean, I have a tattoo. Like, I got the Berserk tattoo on my neck.
Got it.
The brand of sacrifice. I got it because I relate so much. I relate so much to Guts, right? And everything that he went through, right? With between what happened to him as a child when they, you know what they did to him as a child, man. They fucking took over his mother's village and they hung his mother and cut him out his mother's womb.
Yeah,
and,
which is crazy.
Which was insane. And then he was raised by a mercenary, and then the mercenary got delusional once he lost. I think he lost like 2 of his limbs, and he sold them off to get raped by one of his soldier members, like one of his peers. He sold him off to get raped by him as a child. The guy was like he was like a tank, bro. He was he was a big character basically. And
it's the story of betrayal.
Yeah, and then he had to kill his father, bro. Yeah. He had to kill his father, and then once he killed his father, the whole fucking mercenary camp came after him and was trying to kill him, and then he was by himself for a while, and then he found a group, and then
and that
went to shit. Yeah. And then now he has to wear like a berserker armor to currently protect his group that he's a part of.
Also, it's weird his life, basically,
and it's just I empathize, unfortunately, with Guts and everything he went through, because it's like I feel like life has taken so much more from me than I have. Like it feels like that at times, right? Like it's taken so much from me that I've gained. Like I have a lot more to be like unhappy about than I have to be happy about in a moment, right? Yeah. Like, but I mean, I pushed through. I pushed through, right? Like holding it together, right? Like holding it together, I pushed through, man. Like, I mean, even down to losing my mom, like on Christmas Day, like I just think about her being in my arms, lifeless, like at times, right? Like, it fucks me up, but I push through.
My condolences.
I appreciate it, man. I mean, it happened when I was young too. It happened when I was like 13, 14 years old. Yeah. I pushed through though, man, because I have to, right? Like it's a part of it. Yeah. It's a part of it, you know what I'm saying? And like also too, I'd be remiss if I didn't even apologize about. I know we had a campaign going. I just.
You my boy.
Yeah, I got overwhelmed.
When I talk to folks about that time, a lot of my personal friends were upset, but I was like, if someone who came to me with something so great can't be a part of that moment, there's a reason they're not available. And whether they explain it to me or not, as their friend, I have to be able to accept it until they come around. And if they don't talk, are we still boys? That's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? It just seemed like the pretty thing to do, right? Like, just at least, you know what I'm saying, acknowledge that, right? Yeah. Like, because we haven't talked about it since. And I just wanted to make sure that you knew that, you know, that I apologize, right?
I'm Gucci. I appreciate that, but I'm Gucci. I get it. Like, it's very rare that the thing people are going through, I tell folks, just like therapy, if you get therapy, you're talking about an hour or two out of your whole month. In general, we're only around for each other's lives 3% of the time if we're lucky, if that.
Yeah. And what's weird even about therapy, man, is just I've gotten to a point where the average therapist is not being able to help me, right? Yeah. And now it's just coming down to reasoning, like, my last therapy session, no lie, bro, was probably like 10 to 15 minutes of just me asking the questions and just me getting the answers and just me applying them. Yeah. Right? Like, that's
Stop doing it for me.
That's just where I'm at right now. Yeah. I'm in a really weird space, but I get it. I'm realizing now that my mental health journey is probably going to have to be spent every now and then, right, with therapy, but like I'm realizing that it's just a lot of work that I'm gonna have to figure out, or a lot of things I'm gonna have to figure out on my own. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean,
you know the cards you've been dealt.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with Guts. It's like that year. It's like those years where Guts was just running around from just battlefield to battlefield, chopping down the strongest man from an opposing army. Yeah, with him being hired as like a solo mercenary, like. That's just kind of where I am, right, on my mental health journey. Is just spending a little bit more time with myself, and because it's just, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I got into BetterHelp, right? I got the subscription, and I got on the call with the therapist, and man, I just asked the questions, and he gave me the answers, and it solved everything I was going through. Yeah, I was like, yo, is this what therapy looks like for me at 26? Right? Like, I've been going to therapy now since I was like, I think probably like 23, 24. Yeah. And Yeah, it's just therapy for me now. It looks a little different, I guess.
Yeah, therapy. Therapy isn't for everybody. That's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, I'm very big on the work that I've done. I just wanted people to understand that there are other resources around them, right?
Yeah.
And number three, which I think is a very important role and aspect that I'm working on right now with the work that we're doing, especially going into next year, is I'm trying to let everybody understand it's therapy, community, wellness. Where does that belong in your life? And building up off that, because therapy doesn't solve everything. Because after you have the session, you're really sitting down with yourself and you're like, do I really want to apply this bullshit? Do I really believe that's the right answer?
Yeah.
And then you need community to either hold you accountable, make a better environment for you, or help you become who you're trying to be and who you're trying to change into. That's why what you said about your family to me is so important, because like a lot of folks don't realize that after you go to therapy and you start to become aware of certain things, sometimes the people who've told you you need therapy are the folks who in your personal environment are a part of the issue that you need to get away from. And you can't tell someone, hey, go to therapy. This person goes to therapy and they're becoming this new person and they're realizing and becoming uncomfortable with these things they have to do. And they realize, oh, you need to change also, not just me, because you're a part of the environment that's made me be the problem that I was. And then wellness, which is that practice of you introducing yourself to yourself, practicing boundaries, reasserting where people belong and don't belong, or checking niggas.
Yeah.
You feel me? And it's like,
it's exhausting but necessary.
Yeah. And I mean, that's why I'm so proud of you, because like,
I appreciate it.
Right now, this may be the hardest part of your life in terms of what you've gone through, but there's going to be another side that you come out on the other end of.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, from what I've seen and what I've observed, you have the right people around you.
Yeah.
And you have people that care about you, myself included.
Yeah.
But you know, that's you.
Yeah. No, I mean, I appreciate it, man. I mean, at times it does not feel like that.
Of course.
But I just think about the times that it does feel like that, right? Like it goes back to that 20-80 rule, right? Where I feel like I got it together 80% of the time. It's just that 20% that I slip up, right? And that 20%, hold on, somebody's calling me.
I got you. I was actually going to wrap it up now because I know that you got to go. But I'm going to ask you, what is your ask of the people around you too?
I mean, my ask, like I'm still trying to figure out what that look like.
But when you get there, it's like, you know, do you have a script? Have you practiced asking people? Because sometimes you get used to not asking and you get used to accepting things for what it is. Yeah. And things don't change unless you have an ask or a demand and an understanding. Yeah. And they know this.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? I was at a place where I was only doing for myself. Yeah. Right? From like probably 2016 to like 2016 to like 2021, 2022. I didn't really rely on anybody from anything unless I was paying them. Yeah. Right? Like the only person I would rely on things, like the only person I would expect to show up would be my barber.
That's real.
My barber, but the thing is though, my barber, he cut me for free because we barter, right? I shoot him, he cut me for free, right? Yeah. Marcus, best barber in the world, in my opinion. I don't surround myself around people that ain't the best at what they do. Yeah. And I'm real big on energy. Marcus is real good. Like, I don't want just anybody touching my head because that's where my thoughts are at. That's where my memories are at. Yeah. Yeah, like, I don't want nobody dapping me. Like, you feel me? Yeah. Like, so for a while, it was just only me relying on Marcus to show up in my life. Yeah. Everything else, I mean, mechanics, of course, but like even mechanics, like they be fucking up. Yeah. It just is what it is. Yeah. Like for a while, I was working with some bad mechanics, and they was fucking me up. That's unfortunate. But I mean, it is what it is. You charge to the game, right? Yeah. Like I don't. It's some short shit, right? I'm gonna be suffering until I leave this motherfucker. Yeah. It just is what it is, right?
Just gotta make that choice to leave, but you gotta find something first before you up and bounce.
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying I'm talking about when I'm in the dirt.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be suffering until I'm in the dirt, right? So now, like, my whole life from like the age of like 14 to like now, I've been trying to formulate what it looks like, right? What it looks like to, I've been trying to figure out what it looks like to I guess be well and also suffering, right? Because it's always something going on, right? And just always just trying to figure out how to remain positive with all of the craziness that's going on in my life, right? Because I'm always going 100 miles per hour. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'll ever crash out.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever. I think I mean, it's just going to be like this until I get to where I want to be at financially, to the point where I could just take care of my family.
Yeah.
Right? It's just going to be like this.
Is that line close?
Nah. It's like One Piece. It's like trying to find a One Piece. It's like trying to find a One Piece. Look, Luffy been looking for the One Piece since he was 7. Since he was 7 years old.
But that man been happy. He been happy doing it.
I mean, yeah.
He's had to take some names though, but that's been a part of his path. So
yeah, so that's where I'm at though, man. It's just like I said, it's those arcs where where shit just happens, right?
Yeah.
Where shit just happens and you just gotta manage.
Yeah.
Like by any means necessary, you just gotta fucking manage. It's like, okay, you get in at 2, you gotta get up at 5. Cause you gotta manage, bro. You gotta get the shit done.
Yeah.
Like it don't make sense. It don't make sense for you to just not. Like it don't make sense for you to just stop. Right? Like you just gotta do it. So I'm at a point now where like it's beautiful, right? It's beautiful. Like it's a painful process, but I see myself turning into a butterfly from a caterpillar.
Yeah.
Right? I see myself like when I make it through this,
yeah.
Like bro, I don't mean to hold you up, but I saw Beyonce's movie with Jada, right? Bro.
Yeah. Yeah, my girl, she's on too. Yeah, I heard.
I don't even like, bro. I don't even like Beyonce. On some real shit. Like I ain't just bumping Beyonce.
You being honest.
You know what I'm saying? But I've been bumping her music since, right? This was probably like last week, right? I've been bumping her music since, bro. I've been channeling that energy since I seen that movie, and I get it.
Yeah.
I get it now. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, on some real shit, I get it. I get why people really, like, flock to her. I get it. Because, bro, the energy that she had, bro, she channeled the same energy from Michael.
Yeah.
I was just talking to my guy Zeppelin about that. Like, she channeled the same energy from Michael. Bro, once you channel that energy, bro, don't nothing matter.
Nah.
Don't nothing matter.
Not at all.
Don't nothing matter, bro.
Yeah. It takes Booked and Busy to a different level.
No, literally, like she got like what, like 3 kids?
Yeah.
She got a whole husband.
3 of them. Yeah.
Bro, she did a whole tour.
Rack of businesses also.
That's what I'm saying though. She, bro, to channel that, bro.
Yeah.
Like you gotta be a superhuman.
Always on tour.
That's what I'm saying though. Like, bro, she's dancing, bro.
And when she's not on tour, she's always working on the other tour.
3 hours, bro. 3 hours a night.
Yeah.
For how many months? I don't even know.
Seeing someone's obsession be brought to life in that style, it's I don't know if there's words you could put to that, because like the foundation is always changing, but it's always her.
Freak of nature, yo.
Yeah.
Instead of learning how to stand up on concrete, you learn how to float on water.
Yeah.
It's a difference.
Yeah.
It's a difference, bro. It's almost omniscient. Like, it's wild. Like, bro, it's like pinnacle, like, confidence. We're going to just call it Godfidence.
Yeah.
Godfidence. I'm serious, though.
I know.
I'm serious, though.
I know, bro.
It's a certain level. It's a certain level of genius that people approach when they realize that they too are a God, but they're a lowercase g.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're not an uppercase G, they're a lowercase G, right? You'll never be an uppercase G.
Yeah.
But as long as you know that you got a drop of that omniscient power in you, and that drop is everything to take you to everywhere you want to be.
Yeah.
Like, bro, it don't stop, bro. knee injuries. Like it don't stop, bro.
Yeah.
Like family issues, it don't stop.
Yeah.
Like you got children, it don't stop. You got a job, it don't stop. Like it just don't stop when you realize how great you are and the potential that you really do have.
Yeah.
Right? It's crazy. It's a crazy, like, and I really commend her and I really thank Beyonce for putting out that doc for her tour, right?
And sharing it with us.
Yes, because bro, the same way how she channeled Mike, I feel like I'm getting the same energy, which is weird, right? It's the same energy. Like I'm really I really do think, like, after watching that, bro, it made me realize I was on the cusp of something great.
Yeah.
Right? Like I haven't had this feeling in a long time. And, you know, it's just, I think people that show their process, right? Like the Muhammad Ali autobiography, right? Like the Malcolm X joint, like Mahatma Gandhi, like reading them joints, like Steve Jobs, bro, you realize, bro, you really got to be a freak of nature if you really want to be successful at anything.
Yeah.
You got to be a fucking freak of nature, bro. Like really, like Mamba mentality ain't only just getting up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
It's getting up, stretching every day. It's getting up, hitting the gym.
Yeah.
Putting the ball on the board, like, bro, it's getting up, practicing 4 and 5 times a day, off season.
It's getting up and instilling those same values in your daughters.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally, bro.
Yeah.
It's wild. You really got to be a fucking free. Bro, those people are rare, bro. You got to think, we just named probably, like 4 or 5 people out of billions of people that exist.
All goats.
Out of billions.
They worked to be there. And they didn't just, it's not obsession without action.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, I mean, they say the graveyard got the most potential, but I feel like if we had a potential meter, it ain't going to be much potential left at Kobe's grave or at Beyonce's grave when she go, God forbid, is anytime soon. But like, bro, these are people that they're high yield people. Like they yield like energy, like just masses of it. Like for her to release a film and for me to feel like this after I saw it.
I could see it.
Like,
I could see it. It's like the jitters after coffee.
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically, it's weird. I don't even drink coffee, but
me either.
It's weird.
But we know what those jitters look like. We know what that energy looks like.
It's wild though, man.
What's it? Thoughts without works is dead. Is that what you're trying to say?
Basically, yeah. No, literally.
Yeah.
Literally, right? And it's just applying yourself, right? And just learning how to put the proper foods in your body, stretching your body the proper way, meditating, like being consistent with that, and like also self-control, right? That's what I'm getting back to. Like I kind of let myself run astray, right? Putting others before myself, but now with me putting myself before others again, like I'm hoping I can get to a whole new level. Like I'm hoping that, like I just won't be known as a guy that started something, right? Like I'm hoping that I can get some awards for my photography as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm looking forward to all those moments happening, man.
Man, I pray to God, bro. I ain't even Muslim, bro. It's Allah, bro.
Yeah.
Like, on some real shit. Like, I really do hope. You probably had to cut that part out. That was probably blasphemous, me cursing right after that. But I mean, it's just, that's where my heart at though. You know what I'm saying? That's where my heart at. Like, I don't know, man. The universe got a real weird way of speaking to you. Like, it don't speak to you through English, Spanish, Swahili, French.
Yeah.
It's all through feeling. It's all through vibration. It's all through frequency. Like, I hope anybody that watches this, they understand exactly where I'm coming from and they feel it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I really do hope that. Like, I really do hope that this interview can take somebody out of a place that they was in. Like I said, I don't share my personal life often.
Yeah.
But I mean, I hope whenever I do that, it's helping somebody.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of where I be at with it.
I got you.
Yeah, man. I mean,
hey.
Yeah. I guess we can go ahead and here.
No, I'm proud of you.
I appreciate it. I ain't mean to wrap you up.
Say, nah, you good. This has been another episode of Mental Health Monday. Like, subscribe, share. Here are my boy Shaughn.
Thank you for appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the work you do too,
I appreciate you. Nah, thank you. It's moments like this remind me that my work is making a difference because I don't work towards accomplishment.
Yeah.
I just work towards the reminder that there are things people can do outside of my work.
Yeah.
And my work is a sample size of what it is to be a person.
Yeah.
That's all. So like the number of 245 is only important because it represents what's been accomplished from this point of 2019 to present. But conversations like this, meetups like this, which happen quite often off of camera, that's where my work is for me.
Yeah.
You feel me? So, and I mean, you be putting in that work. And not just like on the burnout side. You still care about yourself.
I appreciate it.
And that's where life starts.
I appreciate it, man. Bro, I'm walking on a real thin ice. I can tell. Like I study alchemy for a little bit. I can tell that I'm sacrificing everything.
Yeah.
To get everything back in sacrifice, but it's also just that period of just having nothing. Yeah. Right? And you just waiting to get everything back. And that's kind of where I'm at with it, right? It's just constantly putting out, because I know that if I don't live to see it, my kids gonna live to see it. Like I know it's gonna affect somebody in a way that's gonna change their life. That's all that matters to me.
Yeah, and you're touching people.
Yeah,
that's
all that matters to me.
With who you've been.
That's all that matters to me.
What'd you say about photography?
I mean, I ain't even passionate about it no more.
Yeah.
I mean,
but you're people.
Yeah, I'm passionate about people.
And I'm the same way.
Don't get it wrong. I love photography.
You do.
I just love people more.